Welcome to the PA is In, the show created by PAs for PAs, where codependency with your supervising physician is a thing of the past, optimal team practice is the future, and physician associate has taken the place of physician assistant as the professional title of choice. I'm Tracy Bingaman, and I'm obsessed with redefining what success as a PA looks like and what it feels like. Here you'll find the mindset shifts, systems, and processes I use to escape healthcare burnout and integrate my work into my life. Work-life balance is a myth, and an integrated life where you thrive professionally, not a balancing act, is the goal here. My mission is to help you to grow into a unicorn PA who loves their job, has abundant energy, time to spare, and work-optional financial freedom. The PA is in. Welcome to The PA is In, the podcast dedicated to redefining success for physician associates. I'm your host, Tracy Bingaman, a clinician, career, and negotiation coach here to help you navigate your career with confidence and balance. In today's episode, we're diving into the 2024 American Academy of Physician Associates National Conference. Recently wrapped up, and everything is bigger in Houston, Texas. Whether you're a seasoned PA or just starting your journey, this conference is a pivotal event in our profession. We'll explore the many benefits of attending, from unparalleled networking opportunities and vital connections to comprehensive board review prep, job searching, and expanding your general walking around medical knowledge to socializing and earning those essential CME hours. It's not all cowboy hats and line dancing. We'll also discuss some of the challenges that come with attending such a massive event. From the overwhelming number of lectures and topics to the sheer volume of information to take in, we'll cover why it's simply impossible to attend everything and how to navigate this experience without feeling overwhelmed from start to finish. If you're considering heading to the AAPA National Conference in 2025, if it's been a while since you've attended, or you're considering a state, local, or specialty specific conference, stay tuned for some valuable insights and tips to make the most out of your experience. In this episode, I'll provide a comprehensive overview of this year's conference, highlight the pros and cons of attending, and share tips on how to navigate the event without that feeling of overwhelm or even a little bit of conference burnout. All right, let's dive in. Finding the perfect gift for everyone on your list, well, it can be quite a challenge. And when you're a busy professional trying to choose thoughtful, high-quality, personalized gifts, you know that all too well. Thankfully, there's KML Expressions, a PA mom-owned business that can personalize almost anything. From ornaments to occupation-specific items for PAs and more, Crystal has got you covered. Don't even get me started on how cute her stuff is. Even the hardest people to buy for, there's a gift for them at KML. Head to the link in the show notes to place your order today. First up, the pros of a large national conference like the AAPA. First, I would be remiss if I didn't mention the amazing networking and opportunity for connection. This conference is an excellent platform for networking with peers, mentors, and industry leaders. You can make invaluable connections that can lead to future job opportunities and the potential for professional collaborations. In fact, I was able to connect with friends, new and old, people that I had quote unquote met through the internet, people that I had interviewed on this show, connected with, and served in a client or coaching capacity. Do not be afraid to say hi. I made a new friend at breakfast simply because she took the step to say hello. We ended up eating together, exchanging phone numbers, sitting together at a few lectures, and even attending the PA Night Out honky tonk line dancing event as a group. Ashley, if you are listening, thank you for taking that first step and for saying hi and breaking the ice so that we had the opportunity to connect even deeper in person. A great way to capitalize on this is to attend specifically designated networking events, join or learn more about special interest groups, and participate in meet and greets. But most importantly is to put yourself out there. Ask if you can sit with a group of people. Join the conversation. Strike up a hello with people sitting around you in a CME session before it starts. The next thing that's great about a national level conference is it's great for general board review prep. With sessions dedicated to general education topics like cardiac pulmonary care, renal, and more, the AAPA conference can serve as your introductory board review. The conference helps in reinforcing your knowledge and also can prepare you a little bit for certification exams. I honestly wouldn't endorse exclusively attending the AAPA as your board review strategy, but if you're in a specialty and aiming to keep up your general medical knowledge, this conference is a great way to do this. If you're going to focus on the general tracks, you can use the conference app and check the categories of the CME lectures. Each one has one or more categories that they fall into. So if you feel like there's a specific knowledge deficit or certain topics that you want to highlight, you can search the app for those tracks and intentionally attend those sessions. Look for sessions specifically marked on the platform as falling into the greatest categories represented on the PANRE or the PANTS if board review is on your to-do list. That's a great way to maximize the bang for your CME hour buck when you're attending a conference like this. The next pro is job searching. This conference is so big and vast and draws PAs from all over the country that it attracts numerous large employers in the form of sponsors and exhibit hall participants that are looking to hire PAs specifically. If you are in search of a new position, if you're looking to land a locums job, if you're on the verge of a job change, that expo hall is like mining for gold. A pro tip to help you prepare in advance is that you can see the list of exhibitors before the expo hall opens and sit down and create a strategy for the highest yield connections and focus your experts on those specific exhibitors. However, you're not going to want to focus exclusively only on those who shelled out the investment for a booth as potential connections that might be able to help you land a job. Consider attending your state organized events, your alumni events, those for PAs in the specific field that you wish to break into, and aim to connect with people you know, especially if you've connected with them on the internet in person. There's also a directory of attendees. Check them out. See where they live and where they work. Consider sending them a message inside of the app or on a platform like LinkedIn and see if they'd be willing to connect and be able to grab coffee. I would recommend, if you are job searching, to bring multiple copies of your CV and business cards with your personal email address and be ready for on the spot conversations with recruiters, leaders, and providers at any organizations that you would like to join. The next pro of attending a conference of this width, depth, and breadth is your general knowledge expansion. Because it's a national level conference targeted at all practicing PAs at various different parts of their careers, this conference offers lectures on a broad range of topics, providing a chance to learn about the latest advancements and research in various fields of medicine. While I was there, I was able to attend lectures on everything from colorectal emergencies to reproductive justice and palliative care to cosmetic tourism. Some of these topics are specifically adjacent and applicable to what I do in plastic surgery and aesthetics, and some are completely unrelated, refreshing my memory so that when I do go to schedule that board review and attend a course and start studying before taking the boards in a few years, I have seen some of those things in practice or review, even though I don't do them on a day-to-day basis in my office. I adore that they offer both lectures on traditional clinic topics, as described already, but also things like professional development, how to use writing to expand your impact, becoming a better preceptor, and how to use technology and AI to improve your approach to patient care. These topics offer a round, robust ability to improve your professional development and give you CME while you're doing it, as well as improve your patient care. I'm encouraging you to consider attending topics that don't directly connect with your current clinical practice. Sometimes you learn the most interesting things from things that have absolutely nothing to do with the meat and potatoes of your daily clinical practice. In fact, I have a whole sheet of fun facts that I learned from these lectures. And one of them, I think from the precepting lecture, was about these students and how the average PA student at the time of applying to a program has 10,000 hours of patient contact. Now, I'm an old lady and I went to PA school a while ago. And at that time, you did not require these thousands of hours. I was so impressed, and it made me want to ask my students what they did to get their patient contact hours before applying to PA school. The great thing about attending a conference that isn't specific to your specialty is that you get to attend lectures and workshops outside of your current specialty to broaden your knowledge base. We all know that PAs are generally trained, even though we're practicing inside of a specialty, and expanding that knowledge base is such a blessing to you and also to your patients. Next up, socializing. The AAPA National Conference is a lot of fun. The past 2 years, their gem of the social event schedule, from the opening reception to the PA night out, they have been a lot of fun. The schedule of social events provide a fun and relaxed environment for you to meet new people, network, and reconnect with old friends. Some of the best networking happens outside of the confines of formally set up networking events or inside that expo hall. It can happen at these social events. It can happen sitting in the CME lecture hall waiting for a lecture to start. If you're heading to dinner with a bunch of new friends, your network just expanded. If you're grabbing a coffee, you connect someone with you who you connected with on LinkedIn, who has a position that you'd like to have, same thing. Participate in evening social events, dinners, and group activities. I want you to think about this pro tip. Determine what your primary and secondary goals are for attending any conference. Is your primary goal to get as many CME hours as possible? Is it to connect with potential job prospects, land future podcast guests or sponsors like it was mine? Identifying what you're trying to accomplish can help you to strategize and intentionally plan your days at the conference. The next benefit of attending a national conference like this is the CME hours. The conference offers numerous sessions that count towards continuing medical education, or CME hours, which, as you know, are crucial for maintaining your certification. We need 50 hours of CME every year, or 100 every 2, and 50 of those 100 need to be Category 1 CME. The AAPA conference attendance offers up to 28 hours of CME credit in the 5 full days of the conference, depending on the specific sessions that you choose to attend. Most offer 1.0 credit hours of Category 1 CME for a 60-minute session, but it's well marked and clear inside of the app when it's less than a 1.0 credit or it's Category 2 CME. If you attend the AAPA conference every year and you are really dedicated about attending lectures and your main goal is to get CME, it's possible that you wouldn't need to do any CME outside of those lectures and you would be able to get your 50 hours of CME that are Category 1 every 2 years by 2 conference attendance. Let's talk a little bit about the back end, the interface, the tech between the AAPA app, logging your CME evals, and claiming credit. Transferring from the AAPA CME log to NCCPA for tracking is seamless. This was by far the easiest this year of all of the 10 plus years in the past that I've attended the AAPA. It all goes on one Category CME certificate for the entire conference and generates the log into your NCCPA profile of exactly what lectures you attended, how much CME credit you claimed for each one. It was beautiful. As a little bit of a tech nerd, I love when a new platform and integration work together as the end user, and it's really easy to navigate. Do the prep work in advance and plan your schedule to ensure that you attend enough CME sessions to meet your requirements, not only at this conference, but over the course of the year. The other great thing about the AAPA is that many lectures are audio live streamed so that if you're, say, walking back to your hotel to get ready for dinner or sitting by the pool, you can still tune into the lecture even if you aren't physically in attendance. You might not know this about me, but one of my most despised tasks as a clinician is charting. That's why I'm always searching for hacks, tools, and tactics to make charting more accurate, efficient, and less of a huge pain in the butt. If you too want to spend more time connecting with your patients and less time pointing, clicking, and typing into their chart, you should definitely check out Freed AI. Freed AI is a medical scribe on a mission to free clinicians everywhere from the purgatory that is writing notes. Freed AI listens, transcribes, and writes your medical documentation for you. You can even use the code PA50 for $50 off your first month with Freed AI. These notes are written in your style and done for you by the end of the visit. Can you imagine what it would feel like to leave work on time, notes done, without having to crack your laptop open in the evening? Freed is HIPAA compliant, completely secure, and it takes less than 30 seconds to learn. Get back to what you love doing, treating your patients, and let Freed AI do the rest. Now we're going to move on to the cons of a national conference attendance. So there are a lot of great things about attending this conference, but there are some takebacks, and we'll talk about what those are. The first is that it's not specialty specific. The exact reason that you can get general ed in so many different topics and areas of medicine means that the conference covers a broad range of topics, which might not always align with your specific specialty. If you are newer in a specialty or wanting to hone your approach or technique or tactics for patients that are specific to your specific specialty, you won't find that level of specificity and detail at the AAPA. If that's what you want, consider attending a specialty specific conference. And if you do choose to attend the APA, you can focus on sessions that closely relate to your field of interest, but also consider attending a few general sessions because they're available and that will help you to gain broader insights. Next up, a con is the overwhelming number of lectures and topics. When you compare the AAPA to a regional or local or state conference, well, it's hard to even compare the two. The biggest decision for many state conferences for the 8 a.m. CME hour is whether you're going to attend or not attend. At the AAPA, there are sometimes 3 to 6 sessions of CME specifically happening at one time. And maybe Murphy's Law in action, but it seems like there were some hours there were none of the lectures that piqued my fancy, relatively rare, or many hours where all of them were interesting to me and I could only be in one place at once. You can avoid this conundrum with a higher level of AAPA membership or upgrading to the conference registration with the on-demand option. This allows you to both rewatch lectures that you attended and also to attend lectures virtually after the fact to obtain more CME. If you are really behind on CME hours or needing to catch up in the second year of that 2-year CME cycle, opting for this on-demand option with replay is a really great way to get those hours in. The con here, if you can really call it that, is that with so many sessions to choose from, it can be challenging to decide which ones to attend, especially those that happen simultaneously. Again, I encourage you to review the agenda in advance and prioritize sessions. When you attend a smaller level conference, you don't need to do this. You go and show up and learn whoever's lecturing. There's very few choices other than workshop attendance or not attending a workshop. Use the conference app to create a personalized schedule. Have a plan, but feel free to pivot amidst the conference along the way. If you hear a speaker that you really love, or if you feel overwhelmed and you don't want to go to any more lectures that day, pivot your schedule and make sure that you're tracking that CME. Along that same lines, the volume of information can be daunting. The sheer amount of information presented can be overwhelming to any conference attendee. In order to obtain the full 28 hours of Category 1 CME in the 5 days of lectures, you need to attend more than 5 hours of CME per day. Although that might not have been overwhelming and was the norm when we attended PA school, sitting in a lecture for 5 hours a day and remaining attentive in getting the most out of those lectures is a lot. Here are some of my tips to get the most out of the lectures that you do choose to attend. Know your learning style. I personally find it helpful to take notes during the session so that I have them for future reference. That is the way that my brain processes information well. But if you are sitting there and the session is not resonating with you and you're not learning anything, don't be afraid to step out of a session if it's not meeting your needs. Don't waste time in a lecture that isn't what you are expecting or isn't going to teach you anything that's applicable to your own clinical practice. The next con is that it is impossible, and I do mean impossible, to attend everything. With multiple sessions happening simultaneously, it is impossible to attend everything that interests you. Just accept that. And without the replay option, you cannot and will not be able to attend every lecture that interests you. Pro tip. If there is a lecture that you are considering attending, you can check the handouts and the slides on the app beforehand. If there is simply something that you are hoping to glean that can be learned from these downloads, you might not need to attend that session in person or even virtually to get what you need. It's important to accept that you cannot attend everything. Head back to your priorities, and when considering adding an event to your calendar, whether it's CME or social in nature, ask yourself if that helps to meet your primary and secondary aims that you have in attending that conference. Focus on the most relevant sessions, social events, tours, etc., and consider purchasing session recordings if available, or if there's a lot of things that you didn't get to attend in person. Now, I want to wrap up with some tips to avoid feeling overwhelmed by what can be an exhausting and overwhelming, yet energizing and connecting event. This is a national scale conference like AAPA, can just feel like so much. Plan ahead. My type A-ness is showing, but I definitely feel it helps to clearly define your aims and the schedule that you will follow when you're there. I find it helpful to review the conference agenda and decide which sessions and events are most important to you. Create a realistic schedule that includes breaks. I cannot put too fine a point on that. Take breaks. Plan on breaks. Plan on going outside. Plan on having some fun in the city that you are visiting. The next tip to avoid overwhelm is to set priorities. Identify those top 1 to 3 goals for the conference, whether it's networking, job searching, or earning as many CME hours as possible, and focus on prioritizing the activities that align with those goals. Again, I'm going to remind you to take some breaks. Schedule downtime to rest and recharge. It's especially important that when you do have time away from clinic and the everyday demands of your job, that you come back with more juice in your batteries than you left with. It's important to make sure that you take breaks early and often. Use that time to process the information you've gathered and connect with other attendees in an informal way, or sit by the pool and take a nap. All of those things are encouraged. Stay flexible. Have a schedule, but also be open to changing your plans if you hear about a must-attend session or need to skip an event to avoid conference burnout. Pencil in time for connecting with others, but also be willing to say, not tonight, when that third dinner invite comes in or someone asks you to do something that is not in alignment with your conference-specific goals. Connect with peers. Share your schedule and plans with colleagues who are attending. Say hi and share your phone number for follow-up and connection. Make plans to connect outside of sessions or meet up for breakfast, dinner, or coffee. Also, if you have friends, new or old, that are attending, you can split up and share notes from different sessions to maximize learning, just like you did when you were in school. Next up, use the conference app. Make the most of the technology to stay organized, receive updates, and network with other attendees. The amount of events feels overwhelming, but the app, specifically for the AAPA, and I would guess it's probably similar for other national level conferences, is a great way to track events, keep the schedule straight, and log and evaluate your CME. This next one, track your CME as you go, is so important. I have done this well, like this year, when I vowed not to leave the conference lecture hall until I had logged and claimed credit for the CME for the lecture I had just attended, and poorly in years past when I had to log and claim CME for an entire week later, which is a huge pain in the butt. So whatever you do, find a system that works for you, whether logging after each specific lecture or at the end of the day, but don't leave the tracking and claiming of CME all the way to the end of the conference. Not unlike charting a week later, leaving feedback for lecturers weeks later will not be as accurate as charting and logging or offering that feedback the day of the lecture. Thank you for joining us for this episode of The PA is In. I hope that our discussion, debrief, recap of the 2024 AAPA National Conference has given you a clear picture of what to expect and how to make the most out of this incredible event. Truly, it's clear how much time, effort, and planning goes into putting on an event of this magnitude. If you've never attended in the past, consider joining us in Denver in 2025. Registration opens in October of 2024. Remember, while the conference offers amazing opportunities for networking, learning, and professional growth, it's important to go in with a plan to avoid feeling overwhelmed. If you found today's podcast episode helpful, please subscribe, rate, and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Send it to a friend who's been on the fence about the AAPA or attending a national level conference. Find more resources, tips, and support at my website, tracybingaman.com, or come on over and connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to hear who you are, where you're from, and where you work. Let's keep the conversation going and continue supporting each other in building sustainable and fulfilling careers. That's all for today. This PA is out. Congratulations, you've just joined an awesome club. By listening to a full episode of The PA is In, you are officially on the Unicorn PA team. Welcome aboard. What most team members do is they subscribe to the podcast because that allows them to automatically get the latest episode of the show. The life of your dreams exists on the other side of taking action. Keep making small shifts and keep getting better. Your life will improve, your career will soar, and you will have the confidence you need to create your own success. I will see you in the next episode. This PA is out.